Hi, Pinax TV, and find Chiakesi, any aqua bashonko magana for any Pinax, Atrefwinina, Sabre, sense him nase edia, na ye call a ye Ghana, any South Africa, and Sembia, Ababeto, a mime nuno entem. Now, for some time now, no, we know very closely and keenly, say Oba Ghana Hanum Seya, in the respective mining a ye sites, Ahudu e Ghana Kudrim Hano, Duduana, no, a ye concession, no, and I say Biaye. No, yeah, de ama GoldFields. GoldFields a South African mining company umedi omujumedi wo Ghana hanum say mfie bebre enim. Enche bia no ene beto odwa se diamond mines ana eno nso GoldFields for ene di dwumedi wo honum no wo mo contract ni bibia ekwa awieye no na chese yen renew ana so mo aka se decide so mo renew biem eno ene nam so a diamond mines ekodi the brother of the president of Ghana, Ibrahim Mahama and Sem for eba with regards to another miner. And no the ultimate say as a GoldFields for imagine say they are not giving up into say no omo eno omo president Cyril Ramaphosa ka omo ho abomu asore president John Dramani Mahama so say we nko ade was say mo assign renew ye license de MIA. Now on your screens we for Ghana Chronicles or say breaking South African mining company GoldFields is seeking the intervention of the South African president Cyril Ramaphosa to lobby President John Dramani Mahama to renew the lease, which expires in April 2027. The Takwa concession reportedly generated more than 2.3 billion US dollars in revenue last year and recorded a net profit of about 427 million US dollars. Intina chese say no GoldFields for trema Takwa mines no na baby say omani echere anas wo mo aye adwuma wo for some years now no wo mo license no expire na o hwe se de ne na Ghana fan kasa ne ye ne South Africa for obi kan na xenophobic attack here kosuin. And then Ghana for Rachel said this is the time it was any South African company what Ghana Hanum say the likes of MTN GoldFields near the end pamo momo free hako because if you don't want our people in your country any yes you to me Emma Montana ha enya juma enya ye home faso and to copy more takwa ahemfo e mebuno any idea wo honom ni chemu say they want a change in the mining company what takwa mine so because GoldFields for buy ye omo home faso bia omo any developmental projects be any other there enti wo mo kra na share president John Dramani Mahama say Emma no renew omo contract na emfa mo omo nko na afi omo farmer onipa foforo because a lot of people were happy ebra diamond mines no ekodi Captain Ibrahim Mahama ne nsema ya say wutumu say engineer wone ne company for no omo akoshe diamond mines for boss say they would work to make the place develop so it looks like takwa for no so enwa enomo pe but GoldFields for so your margin say enya dia womun so mbetwi break we de womo ene Ghana omuni ebe face so panti we omo de fa omo mampani president Cyril Ramaphosa eso na woni president John Dramani Mahama eja womo nkika niema mo ani na yentimi mo makwanya no na womo emfa womo license ni nko na eja yen renew mo no mo ntoa omudwumedi eso now yen hwe same way on the screens about this whole entire issue and way for the Herald or say GoldFields Ghana to hunt down Mahama with South African's president in Tinacha say GoldFields for Womania Brace through President Cyril Ramaphosa was said Mahama etimye BB edemom or say as neglected Takwa chiefs youth groups demand radical changes in mine lease or into already know Takwa ahemfo any mebunu any timemufo a omo Takwa no omo de omania bre pass ekrodo no san say omo chiremu a was say omo sesa edwumeku a omo de Takwa mines edemom na enya saade a na chese de betete wo Ghana ha no bia na enya enije sem was South African mining giant GoldFields Ghana is facing mounting resistance in its bid to secure a 20-year renewal of its mining lease for the Takwa mine in the western region, as traditional authorities and youth group intensify demands for greater benefits and transformative development for local communities. Enti na say a year Goldfields South African mining company no womo hye say enka sese a womo license na expire no President John Dramani Mahama enka obesan renew am omo emfie polypoly eduonu ebusia 20 solid years en atakwa ahemfo nso ene mabunu nso kiremu say emfaso a womo enya edi from ho ne eyekuma bi sabe ukọ eyetakwa nkrokro nketenkete ohodom ne ade a empuntu ehohonom no esua empuntu obi ani ho ekwan enye ensu enye sese suku dan kra omuntimi nya ade bi ebetimi aboa sa nkro no enti omo nso mani abre se ida se mfaso ebefiri omo ho aba anase yemfa ma adwumakuo fofora omo betimi aboa atakwa eni nkro nketo a ewo honom no emu. Now say information emerging from within the company suggests that GoldFields may seek intervention from South African President Cyril Ramaphosa to lobby President John Dramani Mahama to renew the lease, which expires in April 2027. Enti na chese ohwemu a eye GoldFields for no so omunim se omo bre na so awie ena ewiase mu hanso no obi de na ade fem na wode bre to ho na ohwe na bre ne so na ade no osan pa wode ahoden bi ni nkenya bi hyemu se de be ya se be ade kro no ye betimi extend na se ye betre ebre ni mu di amaw enti GoldFields for mutumi hu se afi a ye wo mu ye atwa afi ni mu emienu anesa na ye wra afi foforo ni mu a April busumi ni mu pe na eye omo contract ne abewie ntutumi se omo hya ase atoto omo niema afi mu ase de be ya anka ye betimi atre bre ni mu to 20 years e de ama omo but omo aka so mo hye se de niema ekokọ na omo nim so omo ti kika eze nya de bia Ghana ban through President John Dramani Mahama no ye be mo omo sa 20 years na omo penu nti omo de omo adwi mu no omo e de fa omo mampani so na kyese wabeka bi e de ama omo se the Takwa concession reportedly generated more than 2.3 billion US dollars in revenue last year and recorded a net profit of about 427 million US dollars. Enti na kyese afie twa mu no sebe sika eba ye free sa Takwa mines honom no 2.3 billion US dollars na mfaso e wo ho a sebe sa mfaso no ekọ GoldFields for no honom no 427 million US dollars. Asabe say Ghana company be fan say engineers and planners meche Ibrahim Mahama ne company kra na sebe wo mu enya sanfaso de nim se takwafo nso ebenya emfaso wo mu a ebeboa wo mu ba we say no ehwe wo mataso wo mu de ko mo mem. Now however, concerns have been raised over how such diplomatic pressure will be received in Ghana, particularly in the wake of repeated xenophobic attacks against African nationals, including Ghanaians in South Africa. This comes after some prominent Ghanaians have had difficulty lobbying the Ghanaian government to renew the lease. And they say no ushemwa na chese said the near mercy kono with a year attack a South Africa for de eko ebibiman ahodo mu nipa e wo mu man ni mu Ghana eka hu bie no wonka so mu ze de eko ne de ehu na ushemwa se say no akwakoba ne se meka ne se companies ahodo adwumaku do bi a sebe wo mu di dwuma e wo Ghana hanum se a wo mo bre aso wo mo pese ye tre bre ni mu mo no bebre na ase wo mo kwa ye mfa mo mo nti wo mo so ma hunze ebi a wo mo so edu wo mo so a ebetimi abanesa enti no wo mo so pese wo mo de fa wo mo mampani eso no. So the chiefs and the traditional leaders of Ewudua under the Apintu Divisional Council in the Takwa Nsuaye municipality on whole land the mine operates have openly expressed frustration over what they describe as decades of neglect and development, despite the enormous mineral wealth extracted from the area. Into which Oshemwa na say ahemfo a ɛwɔ ɛyɛ awudua ɛne ɛwɔ apintu divisional council ɛwɔ takwanhyiaeɛ mu no ɛne wɔn nso tire mu sɛ ɔmo atu fango wɔ hɔ no ɔmo atu fumagudie ne adeɛ bebree na ɛwɔ ɛyɛ takwa nhyiaeɛ mu abato mpɛso so hɔ no mu nanso sɛ mpuntu a ɛbɛba ɛbɛfiri sika mu aba ne adeadeɛ no ɔmo deɛ ɔmo nhyɛ da enya saa ɛyɛ mpuntu ani bi na nka biaeɛ a yɛnya sika yetu sika kokɔ fom fango ahodoɔ ɛne ade nyinaa no obɛba kuro ni mu no emfuturo nko ekwan ni so nyinaa yɛkɔ wonama wobɛkyɛ sɛ wonkɔ baabi a wokɔ ba no na wotiri wo nyinaa so gɔn ɛkyɛnse ya pamaches ya so wotiri mfuntuo bi ani hɔ ɛkyɛ sɛ bi papa bi ani hɔ no ma yɛbɛka sɛ o kuro wei ɛne yetu gold wɔ so kuro wei ɛne yɛsɛ yɛnya nneɛma wei nti no takwafo nso ani abrɛ sɛ moasisi yakyɛ enti nsuo ta ponkyerani a wɔgye wɔ baabi a mudi aba bedru na ɛyɛ yɛn nso yɛpɛsɛ yɛfa yɛ ho adwen idas mo bɛyɛ nneɛma a sɛbe ɛde mfasodeɛ ɛbɛbrɛ yɛn anaasɛ last wɔn ayɛ mpɛ ɛyɛ company a wɔn de wɔn bɛdwen yɛn ho na ɛnyɛ sɛ ba mfasoɔ ne ba wɔn nko abɛta mfasoɔ ne de akɔ na emom yɛn nso yɛso a yɛ temamufo a yɛwɔ hɔ no because wokɔ mu kura na takwa nhyiaeɛ mu abato mpɛso so hɔ no no mmeranteɛ ni bi wɔ hɔ no ma wɔn nso yɛ adwuma wɔn minds hɔ ne adeadeɛ mfasoɔ bɛ no wɔn nya ɛde ama wɔn ma wɔn yerenom ɛne wɔn abusua enti mprempren yi deɛ nsɛm a ɛba no ɛkyɛ sɛ GoldFields for wɔn ani abrɛ sɛ ɛyɛ wɔn mampani Sarah Mafosa wɔne yɛ mampani John Dramani Mahama emenya ɛyɛ nkasadie bi na sɛbe 2027 April sɛ wɔn license ne ewu a yɛtumi ama mu foforo no bedi be 20 years but Ghana for reacted to it said this is a bad idea omani kuraje say 2027 no na womo license na expire because said the omotima mufo anase womo mamufo no ede eye Ghana for yi entwa yie kura enti mu hia ya yeso ye hia mo obia empe ne ba bi nye den entina enti eguso a abusua ye di ensem na chi efa ye GoldFields ene efa GoldFields takwa mines ene Ghana enti ase e be ye adwuma se President John Dramani Mahama obeje penie na we renew 20 years na dia momo ana se the amanfo bi ka no se womo nko back to where they are coming from no ye beje omo kwan ama womo akọ now yenko the health ministry na ehon so ensem foforo bi aba betodwa na awusia amanfo be kaya enche ye bia be abosome kakra nie ene beto dwa se recruitment ekoso ewo health sector no emu aye fa midwives ne nurses ahodo ye kiremu aye biebie portals na ebinumu complaining se the health minister Yera Minta Kando wo bie portal no ye portal no bie ne flash otimi bie no 10 minutes na yasa disconnect wo kwa unya hwepo na wakwa apply baby a woko enti a lot of complaints eba mountain so concerning this particular recruitment ensem a efri health for her eba eno ene dey ato screens no so dey am say out of over 53,000 applicants 6,200 nurses and midwives have been successfully being recruited against the 6,500 target Ministry of Health. Into way Australia womo ehye Ghana ya pomuden hu ensem so eno womo de bo mu kirema enipa bako 53,000 ene ko apply say yem post omo enko ayaresabia hodo a etwa Ghana fa nan hanum nyina ehia na sa 53,000 abusia uje yi omo kra recruit omo nye so medru be 10% kra na se bia 20% just 6,200 per eni eyi womo na sa 6,200 no kra no enfum so kakra e wo ho ana se be ka se ade kakra ama amanfo ka ho asem ne se Ministry of Health na womo hye se enipa be 6,500 eni ye be fa womo out of the 53 applicant no sa 6,500 no kra anso na se 300 a short so eno na amanfo chem se say NDC abinde no person mo chen because in the recruitment process of the security agencies what said the Ghana Armed Forces police immigration here so we saw a similar problem over there ana nipa bebrebu afu senti nipa dodo ye ekoto forms ni ade say yemfa omu nyina ewi ase no de mutumi fa ye ni ene President Mahama ene yera muntaka ye di gu omo so a e wo krom hanum sei na nya asem ketwa ene de nipa aduru no so yera ye minta akando wono e na sabre de entwabo no adu no so amanfo etwabo ne dendenden se sa ginesi o masini de omunkoye bibi mfa because adesuafo a wo mawie nursing school e wo Ghana hanum sei no wo mo edoso yie pa enti se ye ba be yi kuma bi na ya mo postings a wo mo maka no omunye den no munni di school no omukoye no omumfa nkoye den eno na I raise a whole lot of conversation wo internet no so now so yebeko na yakotie said the health ministry wo mo edisa ensemwe etuja with regards to the whole recruitment process e course so wo health sector no emu yenkombra na yentoa ensem no so
so please address this for us. We heard the director say 6,245 people entered the portal. We want a clarification on that one too, because the no slot syndrome was real. People went in there and there were no slots. So please, Ministry of Health and all stakeholders, we are appealing to you. Kindly address these concerns for us. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Obi Joshua. I'm from the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. I'm a pharmacist, and I'm the Employment and Regulatory Lead for the Young Pharmacists. So my question is very simple. I'd like to appreciate the ministry for giving us this opportunity and also opening the platform for pharmacists to apply. But I want to ask this. There's been a good commitment to pharmacy technicians in the free primary health care. I'd like to specifically know from the ministry that what specific quota was given to pharmacists. Because mid-year last year, the Minister of Health made an emphatic statement on the floor of Parliament that he's going to prioritize about 1,621 pharmacists. It was on the floor of Parliament. So out of the clearance for the 8,000 healthcare professionals, what was the specific quota for pharmacists? And moving forward, what will be the specific quota for pharmacists? This is my question. Thank you.
So at this point, I'll invite the head of HTI and also the spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Mr. Tony Goodman, to answer the questions.
Thank you. The first question, why are we still training? That falls within my purview, so I can answer that. Why are we still training journalists? I'm not sure all journalists have work. Why are we training accountants? I'm not sure they all have work. Education is to liberate you from ignorance. That is the first reason. And then the second one is to get you a job. We have not said that we are not going to recruit nurses. We said we'll recruit them as and when we get financial clearance. So we have to continuously train. The other question, I remember the Honorable Minister saying that the volunteers will start from 2022. Nothing has changed. It will still start from 2022. The 2021 batch who were not able to get this particular slot, the next clearance will be part of it. So it's from 2022 and not 2021. So it's still, the plan still stands. So specific quota for pharmacists, even though I know I'll invite the Director, Human Resource for the Health Development to answer that.
Yeah, so the quota for pharmacists and pharmacy technicians, I think we've communicated this one. The recent release, I think it was there, is 250 That's the number that we give to pharmacy and pharmacy technicians. But as we also provided additional information that when we are doing the prioritization also, we give the technicians 150 and then we give the pharmacists 100. For the recruitment process is not ending. As I just said that Honorable is still pushing for us to get another calendar before the end of the year. So pharmacists will be considered. I think what we have planned to do is consistently, whatever you get, you ensure that all professionals are considered. That is our objective. So that one will not change. I think minister have been saying that even if you get one, you will share for everybody to get some form of it. So that's what we are going to do. And I think I want to add something to what someone asked about the NAC. So we appreciate that the NAC, their numbers were very few. But as I said, this particular recruitment, the objective was for free primary health care. So that's why even usually you realize that registered general nurses, they will have the highest number. But at this point in time, certificate community health nurses got the highest. So it was because of the objective. It's the objective that is driving the numbers that we are picking. But I'm discussing with Ghana Air Service and then Chad to see whether the slot that we have remaining, whether we can reprioritize them for the night. Because I actually thought also, I also felt that because their numbers are huge and they were not getting a lot of slots. I think that's it.
So we do another set. Okay. Your name and where you're coming from.
Good morning. Please, my name is Ketri, and I work for Kesben Media. Of course, the bone of contention here is the low slot syndrome. And we've engaged some of the health professionals, and what they see, some of them are of the view that the portal was a mere formality, and even selection were made beforehand. That is the perception some of them have now. So I want to ask what the ministry is doing to prove, if they have a mechanism to prove that whatever they did was merit-based, so that perception could be cleared, and also the approach the ministry will want to use so that we will not encounter any of such issues in the next cycle of selection. Thank you.
So for all the clarification, you still think you didn't do well. All right. Who else, please?
Abusia, we and Komotchin course between the health ministry and a central for a Ghana Kodri said the Baya, Womo Ebenya Quanyano Ebusebusa and Semwa Ghana for Binumuni and Nurse for Binumu Ebusa with regards to the recruitment because Oko social media and so any Ghana Hanum as a whole and Komoya Kosono Ebinumu Chema and say the ministry of health no they were not genuine with nurses for a Ghana because Usheni Padudu Mafa mo any nipadodo a sebe it was expected na as a ensheda entirely sir but utie the explanations if you're more urban there all they are trying to say is that this particular recruitment na womo for the free primary health care President John Dramani Mahama de aba na no ade ya woko ekopa ho entima no according to omo no there that is the reason why omo enya omo for that particular number of nurses rather than the 6,500 ne kra na eye omo ankasa omo target na say target no omo set mo ho no kra no omo entimi emiti that particular target say no they've picked lesser than the target and amount for them to say is 300 na aka no omo nkoye den and look at it 53,000 ebusia Enyazem kitwa 50 a whole whooping 53,000 omo for omo kra nu 10,000 na ya ka say 43,000 kran ko pe baby ntina 53,000 it was just 6,200 and omo etimi eyi womo anase fa omo a womo aposti womo asabe de omo he say they would also start working at the respective health centers ye de ama womo na say no next for na aka no Omumpedi omuankasa omubeye the found. So you could see that the explanations were on, and answer for nsu ebise mu ye say be omunzo ombehu dia eko na obi a wanti ase no ohu a wetimi ate ase ye because it will be absurd say obeti say enipa 53 and akọ portal so akọ apply ye that sorry ya na che say mafa 6200 eja duduo na aka no nei ebinumu che say if possible the health ministry should try and widen up the recruitment, you know, because the omo maka wo fie no edoso kra chen enipa dodo a omo afa omo sese enti na me no ka say de ukopie mu ewo the health sector ebusia dia ekoso ewo ho eno no a amanfo chem say we de it's very very appalling na say entwa yie enti mprempren mpanimfo nhwe na wo ntena se no wo nwi hu biem so metumi de kakra ka ho a wo mo emfanka ho na yenuanom ni bi enso enya ejuma enye enti yebedi e kire na ya mamu update e wo sa ensem we ehu now yen konsem foforo eso me no ka say ebeto odwa e wo monten so se osofo that screen so sofo beduko bi wono e na ye osofo pani a woda glorious wave asori no ano e wo sakumo no abusia wa wo ye obi a wo monitor Ghana asofo pa wo krodwe ma no bonse beduko bi ono nso abedi ne bre e wo krom edru ba bi no na a lot of celebrities e wo Ghana krodwe ma dodo na omosom e wo sofo beduko bi asori na ara wosemo I started say etwego e wo internet no so na che say osofo yi say ne ho akere na masabi asori dan a wone ne nsori matena musom no o ton asori dan no na nsem ne beto odwa na bi che say wenye no kre ebia wo yese de be ya President John Dramani Mahama eni NDC aban no eni beko no nso wo mo baaye no mo nya hwe man no ne ade because he's one person now and the prophecies are bafa NDC one mean ebinum kwa se wo ye NDC sofo esan say the prophecy bia e beba concerning election bia no professor in the favor of the NDC enti sa na ekokoba amanfo ka se o e bia enye no kre o amanfo ono a person o stages mechanic say skills and techniques bi ni strategies bi ni ade na NDC fo adwene eba no so me no ka say wa beto nanum to ochem say no kre aho kire no adokro no rough say de ne dan no no kre so wo ton na de wanwa ene say wonipa a wayi ni ti so wo peso wo ton asore no kra anya sofo enye sofo ba onye nkomhyeni na mom sebe beka ne say fetches priest ane komfo ene pese wo to asori dan no enye wanwa na eba akochie ensem a sofo beduko bi de atodwa efa na asori dan na wo ton no ehu ye ba nkomo ne doso ye ne mu beto aso
ye bi ni nyankopon tem asem but ono de okache say clear everything and whatever comes out of here go and relocate so place. Well, even no so na mon ko Israel and na Abraham free baby awo neko sa enye bibia ye bibia e Bible mo say na because say from Esek all the way to Setna all the road to Rehoboth nti Bible mo nti obi ka say na my dim nti na main commenting prophecy say so be bi because me bala beka say me bala beka because onu no dey say he is sympathizing with his father. Meanwhile, Obi Ansman. Obi and Zuni Doye, but I'm not saying you know, didn't recover my chosen lady. I did when you saw what I do. I'm saying that. I know by some. Okay, aha. Thank you. Because a church members are catch on based on board of trustees a meeting and we'll catch a church so obia you address with it you can over more than one Sunday you can and this already quite about have there and a beduko be the watch and a beduko be to another a whole lot so too much but the Bahama pick it.
Yeah, suffer bedu kobi and I kotie and semwa wode atuja. One thing about suffer way and they say Drew baby no neba ebe free more Ghana for chemo de neba no acquire rituals because that time na sorry no ye can't glorious wave sorry na nenya sem ketwa ne jina ne namon so papa na eba ne prophecies na nka wone eye suffer usu bempa and wo moko head ons e wo krodwe mu so ene wo chemu ana chese eye no kre sa sorry dine wo ton nin sorry makra ya we na se ensem no ebeji atese e wo Ghana ha ne social media so no de onipa nam ne so mane baaye no ne mani ebie na se asofo nkito ani bi no mo de betu dwa na enumom asem ne de no kre no na waka members no so ya bodawuro enye pre baako na enye mpremienu wo ma bo hu dawuro mprempi amom ankasa omunim de eda wo mu anim na eno na abeto dwa se eye kwakubu nsam aye nyina ye nim no e wo Ghana hanom sei wono na atwe ni ti sei se asore no obeto asore no ye tete se asore no ne bo ene na be 1.2 million US dollars na eye kwakubu nsam so aye na adwene se obeto asore no e de aba be ye akonfo school enti se asofo e okrodwe mu hanom sei epese omo boa omunyonko a ene omumbom homoden no mun kota aso na nsa no konfo no akoto e de ya konfo school wakopie mu wo eye glorious wave asori kese a e wosakomo no e kohwe se de asori no ne bobrete se de niema bebrete e wo honom na afei wafa ne ho adwene ato asori dan ne enkohwe bra ukopie mu e wo asori honom.
Young TSS of but could be also that war. And I'm seeing the many baby. Na the bed, the bear was Sir Christopher in our Ghana. I'm so mere Christopher. No man to mamma, what papa. Now, what on us all that it is a shame. Timestre Ghana, a Christopher, some more papa. And yes, I did a minute of whom is a metal sort of dime. And it's not Baha.
But only body.
Minyana ball
1.2 million or 1.2 million to 1.5 million dollars.
1.2
million to 1.5 million
dollars. 1.2 million dollars to 1.5 million. It's no big deal.
And so,
it's no big deal because once no go muhumia don't je buba it cover. You understand? And you know I saw that no I was a Christopher no I saw from Bois Ghana I saw from Momo papa. So Momo na ban no so no sebi preduasa. Obi anim say so for Baduko bi eye current president here was we na ban no was so Ghana dey asori bia no so for bia na asori also. Enti was so mo hwe ana de me de wo mu say so for Baduko bi say onyankopon so on recruit baby foforo. Onko baby foforo. Enti eno so a good idea. So onyankopon ka se kwa wontimi ga se obetena ho. Enti wo ka se wonko a na se be ehwa I also come and take a lead. Mesu me de be ye fans national shrine. Yes. Now because anything I make us say the big man in this country no on meto asore and for my papa no o ma meto a me meto e de ate akom school
and I will send it all ton
On say Yankopon can't say ma. If God says yes, nobody can say no. Papa si nyame say on recreative baby for. Nyane won the children no. Ne ho nkyere ne sa. No Yankopon ne say on fear.
Abusia, that is a year kwakubun sam na yakotie ensem a wono nso de etudwa na chese wo kyeremu a se de eniema si kono osofo ton asore da se be ye ton club a obi a obezo wo de place ni eye club no onu no obeye de obekọ akoto na onu nso design na asesa din ni de aye onu nso ne club yete aye krodwem hanom sei na eye osofo apa life oye so oton na sorry dan yewunya ene se evangelist reverend mama part akoto wo de aye sorry dan wadane into a heavyweight champion eno na eye osofo meka ne se osofo beduko biso ton ne dia kwakubu nsam kyiremu a se ebeboa de a ene osofo foforo nye den emeto na ono nso emfanye ebia another branch of na sorry anase bibisa na se wo mo betena wo mo ono abeto de ene yehu se ye ankasa ne yehia national cathedral yenyanya ye eba ye wo national mosque a wokọ eye nima esi ho goyi international shrine kwa yenyanya bia ene ono ba akoto aso because ebusuan hwe video na hwe aso dan ne se de ne kakraka sitie eso papa because se na America no beduko bia sorry no celebrities ahodo akosa sorry no Mr Beautiful munyina wo mo akwaso wo nipa kukudam enwumtofo sinitwafo ne ade a na first no mo som wo sa aso dan ni mu no na nya asem ketwa enei na chese be ma ye lose a we obi apen baby afa nti dan ne de som esopa o mo kyeremu an say 1.2 million dollars de ebedru anaso mo ebeton ne sa nti kwakubu nsam de o se o man koto de a ene ono ankasa obekọ na akwa akoto eye asori dan ye nyina yete ne nsema wo de etudwa with regards to bedukobi na sorry a wo se oton no na nso wutie mu a dodo na no mo kyese osofo ne ho akyere no ni ade but utie eye kwakubu nsam so ochemu na ese nyame na akasa de akyere yesofo pani bedukobi se wompe baabi foforo no onko ayeyu baabi akọ baabi enti enu nti ena ofiri onyese bia ne ho akyere no ado so nti na wo ye dem wo pese wo ton asori dan na emom he's moving according to what nyankopon kan utie nyame ne ena wodi AC sa giraye no nti ye heba bia abusia this whole osofo bedukobi na sorry dan ya wo ton ni ade nsem no ebekwa akoduru but say onipa wayi niti so obeto asori dan no ena oda screens no eso no eye kwaku bonsam so de beye national shrine ede amaye now ye be share video way of eye kwaku bonsam ebra na wo san cheche nsem ni mu ni adoche mu a wakohwehwe dan ni mu a fine jacuzzi ni ade nyina wo mu a sebe okodem kura no oba no obedwale kura chese nye bad kura yentie no emra
Me de be ma hwe ase ne na wi ya no so ati ase edan etese adaka bi wo agya ho akọ eti se me to ko bu nsama ba ha behwe eti wo so wo ye sofo na ma konfo beto dan na wa meto amfa miu branch wa de a me ba beto de akom school. What I say? Because Papa no, if you look at this is big Victorium. If you go quite so where they were toilet here, wo bibia any ade bath no kwa jacuzzi bath. They conform me by metima je dem ho. What I say? It is so far so good, no. My home say bibia de no kwa. Sesi a menna kasa. Oba ya na ne kasa. Menna kasa, se me ba behwe dan na oton no. Ana mene kasa na do kan de misuma masem ne nasem and de mintimi nka ne public na de make can say a Christopher some say you worship Jesus Christ and you believe in God. Bible say me deja ufra mentuma e komedi mu amaduane di say sof baduko bi na no UTV e komedi no wo deja ka kro oyusu ebisa no wo oyusu kabuka ni bi your friend say ayi vet na sof baduko bi yusu vet na oyusu lankuisa pakibia why we didn't give some to him. Me konfo bi kwa hunyanyam na kwakumsa meboa no enti enu na kwa hunyanyam na sa asofo mo Ghana ha a bi mayo mu hyiw ni ada na mutimi mu asofo badiko bi a it's out of shame of yourself enti asofo mo Ghana from nansi from na mo asofo badiko bi ye nya de ye kire kire because I'm so serious. Otherwise, I'm going to buy this house. Bye bye. Pam Joe.
Yeah, and way kwa masofo a ewo krodwe mu ha yesese munua bema no prophet bedu kobi ne ho akwa ho hia mu wakwa ho kire mu na se muntimi anyimani emeboa no ento asori dan no emfanye mo branch ebi asofo school as training grounds there ya eni ono de o wa beto ene o hwe wakwa round a kwhwehwe dan no ne bia bebia da fine dan no muso kama sebe o chemu a the washrooms ni ade no kra ne kunu nto be okoba say no obedam a komfo a wodware jacuzzi en kan kire wo na se otimu se oba be filipa wo ho no mo che se at this point no it's like asofo nyina omonyo madwene baako no mo beboa a fellow man of God isan se no kra no na share ye ayeye fetches no oye no se ko ohun se komfo bia kwa honyanye mu ana ho kire mu a obo ne homodene eboa sa komfo no enti asofo no nso this is the time e wo so mutimi kire wo modo de ema prophet bedu kobi na se de nyina ye hunu no bedu kobi ankasa wato nenum tu aka ante se asem no enhye da nye hu biem ono aba be kire ne nsemu ama nyina ya te ho ase you dan no tonti ye hwe se sofo bi ba begina mu ana se bekwa kwedi kwaku bunsam ensem na ye de eho update de abre ahwefo na nso se de ye nko ensem foforo eso now ye konsem foforo so asaba me no ka say the Ghana Armed Forces ejumekuo no the Ghana Navy womo ababonten de ababeto dwa se operation bia koso na operation na omo ye no omache emrantie bako enson sebe sa emrantie no abusua yebeka se bia omo ye nkrofo bia omo wia omo ho ekohye cars mu ni ade mu na omo like omo se car na enko anase truck no any ade ship ade ekọ baby a fanse bia car bi fi akra ekokumase mempese metua fe na mawia me ho na mape car ne bonnet to bi na makwa akohye honom na afi de mehemu se me wansi medukumase mi amentua fa mi amenu ho no eno bi na esie wo Belgium for wo flagged crude oil tanker free can say Cote d'Ivoire ho baby na ba be pie mu wo tema coastline honom na chese Ghana Navy for akwakoche emrantie enson we now just screens say Ghana Navy arrest 7 suspected stowaways at sea enti sa stowaways for yin na chese sabe yakoche o na machire mu no ese nkofo bi a wo mo no mo ye omadwen se o mo de omadwene na o mo de be ye adwuma enti ono no obewia ne ho na akope ba bi ahye enti Belgium for wo mo flagged crude oil tanker sebe free Ivory Coast baby ebe pie mu wotema coastline hanom no ye ko hwe amrantie 7 wo mo hyem ene Ghana Navy for ache wo mo now ye be hwe nsem a Ghana Armed Forces for no de ebaye now ye hwe mo say the Ghana Navy has successfully arrested 7 suspected stowaways on board a Belgium flagged crude oil tanker on Saturday 16th May 2026 following a distressed call processed through the Maritime Operations Center. Enti wo mu chemu anese Ghana Navy for na wo matimi akoche emrantie 7 na wo mususu se wo mu de yanso wo mu wi omo ho ekose truck mu ship mu tankers mu ni ade all because omo mpeso mbetwa kaida so omo akopie mu ba bi omo ye den wo mu ekọ na asem esi memene de yetwa mu yae ebra wo mu nya akọ bi ana motive say BBC akoso now say the MOC, which is the Maritime Operations Center, received information from the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center MRCC in Abidjan regarding the MT Cap Felix, which had departed Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. The tanker reported the presence of persons inside its rudder trunk and requested immediate assistance. In just almost one more and I just say Abidjan foi train phone free the Maritime Operations Center no muchemu say omo tanker na etu eba no omo hu say enipa bi ehyemu a ompese omo boa omo na omo tumi eti ehwe enipa kro omo hye mu no mutumi ye den eche omo na eno ena ma Ghana Navy so omo nan bo omo to a omo ekopie mu ewo tema coastline mrantie ekoba se ye che omo no na omo ye nipa ensom. Ose briefing the press on the operation, the flag officer commanding FOC Eastern Naval Command Commodore Asiedu Labi stated that Ghana Navy ship Achimota was swiftly dispatched to the scenes and intercepted the vessel and safely recovered 7 male persons from the rudder compartment. Into omuchema omunya corner no munso omudi bifefefe mu anene Ghana Navy ship Achimota for no omunso omudi ahokeka ekoya omukọ hwehwe mu no na kyese emrante bako enson ene omuchi omo ewuruda side ehonom. Now according to him, the individuals were transferred on board Ghana Navy Service Achimota and brought to Tema Harbor in stable conditions, adding that preliminary enquiries indicate they are likely Ivorian nationals who reportedly accessed the ship while it was anchored at the Ivorian anchorage. Inti na chese omu hwemu no omu de mrante ne ekopie mu ewo Tema Harbor na omu ho nkan bibia nto omu ye okay na omu ye hwehwemu no mu se sa mrante nson we no se womo Ivory Coast man mu enkrofo ebia ebra na ship no ya choking one side Ivory Coast ho baby no ene omu anya akwan ekorem. Ose Commodore Asiedu Labi said upon arrival at Tema Harbor, the 7 persons were handed over to relevant state agencies, including the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, the Ghana Immigration Service, and the Marine Police for further investigation and the necessary administrative processes. Into muchema omudi omukopie mu hono ejumeku omode emrante nson we ahye omonsanom Ghana Port and Harbour Authority for Ghana Immigration and Marine Police selebe ye ometimi atoto omo ano ayen hwehwemu de afa asem na afi omo hu ba bia asem no womo ebe kare de akọ se ye san di omo anim de omo akọ omu kuro omu fi so baaye ananse den eno metimi aye de afa omo ensem. Osikomodo Asiedu Labi reiterated the steadfast commitment of Ghana Navy to safeguarding the territorial integrity of the nation and leading security operations within the wider Gulf of Guinea. He also expressed his profound appreciation to all local and international maritime stakeholders who seamlessly collaboration ensured the success of the operation. Say the Ghana the Gulf of Guinea no bebo ho ban san say meka say it's a border to 2 countries. Enti ama ye ne anko ho no ma to trustem ne nipa bone for sem de betimi akoso ho a ye be wiase no na aba beka oman Ghana ye mpe ne santi enso say no security alert eni wo ye ho so gidigidi pa ye hwe say betimi a prevent any distractions and I say how be betimi aba from the borders and all that. Enti which screens and said ship no baby anu mo hyehyɛ ne ade no ene yakwakoyi yomo a say de wo mo ewo ejumekuo immigration Marine Police ene gapoha ebenimfo ensem a omo ye nhwehwemu de afa the supposed and as suspected Ivorian nationals omo de omho ekohye sa tanker no emu. Now there is a video I ebekwa akohye of Ibrahim Rantie ye che wo mo na de omo kopie mu ewo Tema Harbor no yenko na yenkohye mbra. Abusua video ye no emrantie enson metre 7 as abrede ya che wo mo wo tanka mu a se bi esusu se tanka no bra ship no epake baby wo Ivory Coast no eno mu wia wo ho ekohye mu a Ivory Coast fo nso ma tip off de ma Ghana yen Navy for one so de ahokeka ekoye search new operations ni ade ende omotimi ache saa emrante enso nyina omochi omo no na say o say search omo ni ade because tell me why I say be hu say ya package ship esi ho ana say ya set ship esi wa eba be take off na mo be wia mo ho akwakohye mu ade na moje why did you do that no questions baby asabe there Ghana for dodo na ebisa institution screens so these are some of infonia free the Ghana Armed Forces, the Department of Public Relations ebra mo koche wo mo nya ade be mo ko hyehye ye erada no emu it's very baffling. Amanfo bebre bisa ensem wo ho se nti ginesie bempa na se mfaso bempa na wo se ginesie a wo mu esi ye so se wo mu epese wo mu ekwo wie wo ho kohye ship tankai wo ship eso na omu ebepie mu wo Ghana hanum se nti enen omu da so wo empanimfo nsem a omu ye nhwehwemu de afa emrantie we wo mu ehu yebedi akire na ye the update abre ahwefo sabre de yenkopie mu wo the US Embassy wo Ghana hanum esei na omu nso omu aka omu ho a omu de nsem bi ni ade ababeto emmonten so efa Ghana fo a wo mo apply for non-immigrant visas every embassy no eho for some time now no nebeto just say ukwa apply for visa at the free US for embassy honoma usually no omu go through social media handles ni ade hwe niema o post de wo ye wo ho ni ade entina amanfo ye tai bo amanfo kokopa wo agora wo mudi wo social media no eso ene hwe wo screens no eso say effective immediately. All individuals applying for a non-immigrant visa must change their social media profiles to public US Embassy. In same way, if US Embassy no ena eba muchema amanfo a wo mo pese wo mo kwaji visa non-immigrant visa free the embassy no ehonom no omo nkan wonu se yebekwa akohwehwe wo mo social media no emu Facebook, Twitter, Instagram ni ade akohwe de mo ye wo ho LinkedIn ni ade keke ka ho enti ene yeba ne yebehwehwe na yeba na profile ni ye private ubebi wa ko tap in the profile so say this is a private account untimi hu hwe hu picture ba akokra say wo honom eno na US for chem say imprempren die fi ne ekoi ene ehye unnim se o kom ho akogye visa na se social media handles no why in private akoyi free ho no mu kwa wuntimi hu niema na ewo ho ni yie no mu ntimi hwehwe mu yie se visa no omo de be ma wo ana se enya de a omo de be dem wo mo ede ebe ma now ensem a wo mo ede aba no ye bedo mu suko ni ahwe mu ebie nchiremu a free US Embassy for ne ho aba with regards to the reason why wo mo edisa ensem we abeto nti we free the state.travel.state.gov US Department of State we share mun say announcement of expanded screening and vetting for visa applicant and we share say effective March 30th. The Department of State will expand online presence review to include applicants in the following additional non-immigrant visa classification. All A3, C3, if a domestic worker, G5, H3, H4, dependent of H3, K1, K2, K3Q, R1, R2, ST, and U. These are in addition to the H1B applicant and their dependents and the FM and J student and exchange visitor visa applications. Applicants already subject to this review. Information on the purpose of travel for these visa clarification is on our website. And so much stated the various categories are na womo ebobodin ne obehu gene kioni echi ade no enom na womo abobobo so nti ya tie ekoje visa ne enim the type of visas I ekoje no yenim ba bia ye fall any category ye fall ewo honum. Now said to facilitate this vetting, all applicants for A3C3, if a domestic worker, G5H3H4, dependent of H3K1, K2, K3, QR1, R2, STU, H1B, H4F, M and J, non-immigrant visas are instructed to adjust the privacy settings on all their social media profiles to public or open. Inti na say wakoye ne private what this category ya boboso no a domestic worker na dependent who koso bi sa ne mani na non-immigrant for no na kan hunu say wo kwai social media ne behwehwe mu enti wo kono so onim se why ne private aye ne public why ne close nso ene ebiemu na omuntumi hu de omo hwehwe the details and the informations they need clearly enya afei na omo beko na yakocho this is a private account ene de debi enti with immediate effect no eno ene nsema wo mo ede ababeto dwa. Now so the department uses all available information in visa screening and vetting to identify visa applicants who are inadmissible to the United States. Into omuchema we so eka screening process ne home na eno no kwan omo fa so omo de be hu omo a e wo say e mom visa omo qualify na omo di mu see the visa ne be mom ana say yenye den yemfa mom say including those who pose a threat to U.S. national security or public safety. We conduct thorough vetting of all visa applicants. Inti said the yekano no womo de omo share enipa omo be mo makwanya no amomo timi ewura US man ni mo bi wo ho a wodi ne kwei ni tirimu po enye tirimu po papa wo ko na se be ne ye eni ni suban bi ekoye ohaw edema US man na chese ebe ha adwene enu nti eno omo san hwehwemu ni nyina say every visa adjudication is a national security decision. The United States must be vigilant during the visa issuance process to ensure that those applying for admission into the United States do not intend to harm Americans and our national interest, and that all applicants credibly establish their eligibility for the visa sought, including what they intend to engage in activities consistent with the terms of their admission. A U.S. visa is a privilege, not a right. Winsaka US visa ni bia hu say enye sebe Ghana, I know my right, I know my right. There be producer, please keep it on the screen. Enye sebi I know my right, I know my right asem there be omo ma visa na omo no omo ko mboa hu ni say omo boa omukomo ye wadoye enti wo Ghana hana otiminya US visa ya adoye ne ye de ama enti wo hwe nsem na what the latter part na next omu kan kosi say omu mpese omu di US ni bia sebe ne nkwa anana brabo beto assignment ena US mine nso omu woni ma they stand for enti no omu ko show profiles na eno na be ma omu hu say whether indeed eniema wo ye wo honom no sebe eni US amamre ne sebe wo mumra ne ade no eni ni hia na eni ni hia ye ma okwan memma US o meye hwe ka baby awo no stay in your Ghana, let them keep their US. And these are some of the things wo mo ehwe enti eba no visa issuance wo embassy na ade here wo papa, so they pay keen attention to every single detail. And enti na social media profiles no so mani wo honom no say yembo ye ho modern yembie mu no mo so nkohwe de ompeso mu omo ko na bibi wo honom a sebe emfo how bia mbro bia they just leave you and they give you the visa. Omo ko so na bibi wo honom mo ani nje ho a stay in your Ghana, let them take their US because it is not your right to have a US visa. Inti no eno ene nsemo a omo de ababeto dwa we if you the travelstate.gov omo no mo de ensem we beto dwa ni nyina mu no this same US visa ensem a ekoso with regards to be can say the issuance and the social media profiles no the US embassy omo nso omo de ensem US embassy we Ghana hanum sin so omo de omo nsem ababeto dwa until on your screens or see US embassy Ghana, a team of expert FBI instructors is conducting a course for the Ghana Police Service, training them to more effectively counter transnational criminal organizations and violent extremist network. And they say, FBI for no man one say US for FBI for one say they are not giving Ghana breathing space any longer. Say no cry there. Or money Ghana Police Service for any babe collaborate. Be come bomu aye adwuma no. Into ma shase training the Ghana Police Service for no said the be boa na eba no nipa bonefo sem a koso wo Ghana ha se be nyankofo bi omudi amanfo wa amano ni ade na ombeboa mu no mutimi achechi wo mu eni ade. Speaking alongside the Inspector General of Police, the US Embassy's acting deputy chief of mission stressed that the training provides real-world law enforcement tools that protect lives and national security. The acting deputy chief of missions at the US for no to just say training when they are there be a sebe bibia efa emra home we are see afa na nyina no ebi wo mu bi because they are working internationally. Ghana police they'll be able, they are giving them the training in such a way so they'll be able to work internationally with other security agencies across Ghana, any other countries near their identity. And no focus. Now, a secure and stable environment promotes economic growth and creates conditions where citizens and businesses can thrive. Enti omu chemu anache se ye share omanya sebe kronimu no asumdwe wo mu eniema akona nimu sikafa mu bibia daboko a ema timemufo no anase oman ni mufo no omu to omu asumdwe omadwuma koso bibia koso. Enti that is why they are providing this training for the Ghana Police Service. But the moment this came out, spend a month for say, hey, FBI for you, why a while though? Because they say the more chichi emrantia na, omu ferry for fraud, this scam near there's cry, say cry, MP bako, yes, money laundering, ya channel. It's one okay, him do beba, emrantia mienu, can say, omudin krama, intafwe. 22 years in Tafomusu and a lot of people, the list came out and we should just said this is just a way of US trying to collaborate with the Ghana Police Service. No one cost one chim ranting, no more training, said the bay easy. But then, is for the betterment of Ghana as a whole. In the but after this training, any so on because watch chim crofo and say, we can say baby edru no enya achichi asem, but they are just trying to help Ghana as a country. Now let's move on. Na yenko PMO the Ministry of Communication and Digital Technology na mashebedwani Sam George wodini hene se oswafo wo honum na Sam George sese amanfo bebre kan no asem se papa no ba bia wo duro no ase nani ya cha nani nton wo mama ne ho so se wo disrespecting kofo whether a man or a woman or dear sense me no ka say public accountability committee PAC wo mo hie mu a wo mo toto from the various ministries, various institutions and organizations, any other NASA committee sitting there when they invite you as a head of a particular institution and now say as a particular ministry and organization and niema baku mienu omu ne say enko yie no omo ebo omo ho modern pass o meden omo ebepe anopomasi be bebise bisa wonsem dia fa won say adentina de we akose adentina akose na no na do Sam George so okopie mu ho no ma wone the chairperson abena osei asare wono na PAC chairperson wone ne boy ni abusuanya asem keto ma me ne ka na Sam George so aka ne bi just said this is so disrespectful of Sam George to speak to a woman the way she did. Na ni na fa nsem a ma me ne eka ye say ohwe Sam George the modern boy a wo bo ewo the Ministry of Communications, particularly with the telcos now. As omu telcos no madwuma di omu di ni yie, especially the delivery of internet network ni ade na say enko yie na Sam George say hwe ehe ne ha sa asem na wo kan de untimi me kan kire mi o ma me so me nkire o de ewo mu na me fan che unto share screens so these are some of the things Sam George edit to. So please put the first one na yen share before we come to this. Into shall say if you are looking for a scandal, check next door, not here. And you know Sam George in person just said the way I am me abna say asare bisan nsem na say maame ne person we dey asem hye no so person we dey asem to no so person create problem bi man e ka say Sam George in ministry no enye adwuma na Sam George James maame o pese o de wafufa waso afifa enye me so o pese o create asem maame ade bi ko he ba bi fufu embe create asem enye de emfa maame e wo hanum say. Now into shall say if you are looking for a scandal, check the next door. And when Sam George and some say you may not like me and say what you like about me, but one thing remains as certain as the Northern Star, you cannot call me corrupt. Intinache so chema questions are ye busa nene ade no. Sam George when he say mechanic say acquire witch hunting bi say ma me ne penasem abno say asare penasem na wa hyeda busa ne nsem bi say ntino. Ono be say ma me ne ti ase so no Northern Star say be untimi meka nche ne so we corrupt kata hye ne proye dwirim ono de untimi mfe nsusu no eno ne nsem a Sam George e de tudwa obobo na adwene e de ema me o say asare wo eye park wo mo meeting na say it looks like amafo be team say Sam George we dey one ka say ye kra unsem na o de tudwa no entwe but there is a video abusiam ye be call na yakwa kwhwe a video of Abort Sam George na onu chema o defending him, but a beach said that was very rude of him. San or ebra ne vetting for that position, and they think that he needs to work on himself. Yankushe video no Emra.
Private businesses are about making profits, and those profits they paid to you over 8 years at the finance ministry as corporate taxes. Policy decision and policy leadership ought to make sure that we took steps to protect the customer. And I'm saying that we, under this reset agenda and under a responsible government, have done so.
Minister,
no, Honorable, I'm also a member of Parliament. Don't do this. Minister, please, I am on the floor, Minister, Honorable.
I understand.
Let me make my point. No, you won't heckle me. Don't play sentiment.
You, but we beg
Chairman, until and unless policy decision is making, Honorable, you need to rein in the Honorable member. She's being unruly.
No.
You're being unruly, please. This is unbecoming of a member of Parliament. Please.
Minister, listen, you don't have the floor.
No, I have the floor. No, you have asked me a question. I have the floor. You will let me answer the question.
Minister.
No, you will let me answer the question. No, you won't do that, Abina. You won't do that today. Let me finish.
Minister, respectfully.
Let me finish.
This is our committee.
No,
you don't tell us what you want to do.
But you've not brought me here to talk down on me as well.
Nobody's doing that.
No, I listen to you.
Minister,
go on. You will listen to me as well.
Respectfully.
We have asked them to roll out. We have asked them.
Respectfully, can you turn off your mic?
The chair gave me the floor, please.
Minister. Minister.
Honorable, don't do this.
This is our committee. Minister, respectfully, I understand.
So if it's your committee, then don't invite us. But if you invite us, you ask us a question.
Minister,
if you ask us a question, you listen to us as well.
Minister,
it's not a monologue.
Respectfully.
So respectfully, let me land.
We will let you land. Just a minute.
Sites.
Minister, respectfully, we will let you land. Minister, we are not coming to repeat anything. Respectfully, we will let you land. Please. When you come here and we address issues, it is not that we want to take anybody down. Never. We go, you and I, we go beyond this. We go beyond this. It is not that we want to take anybody down. But Minister, the situation is serious. And that is all the sentiments I'm trying to carry across.
And that's the point I'm making. We've given a policy direction in January. On the back of our policy direction, MTN is rolling out 800 new sites. Telecel is rolling out 350 new sites. Between those two companies, you see 1,150 new sites. However, that's why I said to you that this is engineering and not sentiment. When you ask an MNO to roll out a new site, there are steps that have to be taken. First and foremost, you need to do the acquisition of the site. Then you need to then make the requisition for the radio equipment and the cell site. Those are not things that are, for want of a better phrase, in a supermarket that you just go and buy. You place an order with an OEM. The regulator, the NTA, is going through this process. Most of the MNOs are receiving their BTA devices between July and August. So yes, we have made the request. We have asked them to take the steps. They have taken the steps. But it takes time for the equipment to arrive in the country. And when the equipment arrives and they roll out the improvement, you would see the improvement in the network. But we cannot sit here. After 10 years of failing to take action, someone is taking action, and then you say that you want to see it as quickly as possible.
How many of the sites are they building this year?
This year, MTN is doing 800 new sites.
Okay.
Telecel is doing 350 new sites. Okay. So we're looking at 1,150 new sites this year. And I'm saying to you that over the last 10 years, from 2016, the average has been 223 sites per year. And so if this year we are doing 1,150, we are doing a 500% increase to try and cover. And that's why I'm saying that, yes, we all go through the challenge. But I'm saying to you that you cannot will some of these things into being with a snap of a finger. It takes time. And so I'm saying that we gave that order in the first quarter of this year. Minister. It will take about 3 to 6 months. I am confident that by the end of Q3 going into Q4, we would see a remarkable improvement in the network.
Womunshemu as meeting na se Public Accountability Committee. Ye ka accountability anache se ube bunkunta e de afa adwuma ye de ahye wonsa se ye no ehune no e na che Sam George emuna na tiko se kum che se ye kobusa ne nsem bi ohune se ye boapayo ye pese ye di nani ni ade ne back and forth pa woni ye the chairperson no ye bi che se Sam George, that was very rude of you. Oyere kra nya de obetimi ni oyere akasasa enti a whole woman utimintina seneni ya no kasa anyhow ni ade de che na manfo started dragging Honorable Sam George say ono de omutimu se ahomaso eni kokoti wapani se coat ene hye no ene wode te honom ena che se do ope ene wo ye de beba na dwene mu bia no na wo kika ena ama manfo linking it to previously ebra okopie mu wo the vetting committee no eni mebra President John Dramani Mahama appointed no say wo megina as the Minister for Communications and Digital Technology no eno nso okoye ye ne ho saa kokoti say ho no koka say ne yere ne hwe no ne ade amanfo say Sam George o yere ne hwe ni nyina nkowie ne nso as wasen repeat the same attitude if just say he needs to work on himself as a minister, because also be a minister no asan MPD subanwe yemfa enye minister be call it say immediately on for apology and for enkoma the chairperson edema park enti ye hwe say Sam George oba be pachel and I say on pachel and I say bema steez and composure no wontimi embende now ni nyina mu no also for mame the prison preacher ane agrada wo trending for some reason no mama fi prison my no as any modus operandi ne said we ye ne niam asesa na no kra na amanfo chema say no okoti bible kra ukobie verse na obekọ na sa pepepe nti se first na oka John 3 abekọ na de wo honom na ne John 3 no kra enhiemu. It is not the same, but this time around no I said they are seeing a new version of agrada as they say won shedan kanto kwa. She's doing more of a we can say ambassadorial deals with preaching and they see preaching no so koye nanso kwasi ada etwemu ekopie mu e Heaven's Way sorry ya ebusia also for ketwa yenim say agrada ija onu first na nka nikunu na obake asem no bonsem asem no woman power they say esiama as any post no kosoro enti say woman power na bonsem asem no nyina no etuatwa junior pastor for friend e wo na no na chese maami agrada ekoka say ma papa yin kwa kan bible a asem aye bebre amanfo jem say agrada emu ye hwe say maami obetumi asesa de yen why dey see ye ever Heaven's Way asori dem honum na yen to ansem no eso
Genesis 27 kai
Genesis 27 verse number 1 going na Isaac bore akokura
na Isaac odwan o Bible na nya to twene Isaac ofre he ada wo kai Muslim for Bible
na Isaac bore akokura na nani so ye no kusukusu na ohunu na
ohu ade
na oma wo frɛ ne ba beni eso ka kire no sɛ meba na oje so sɛ hwɛ minie
meja mini
na ɔse Waja mabo akura.
Waja mabo akokora.
Na many.
See, another day, focus on the Bible. Esha. Neja abo akokora.
Yes.
Kasi another day.
Another day.
Meja yohine. Chonimone sa.
Mena yohine. Ohi Yesu baneme. Me papa yo.
Oh, mejo.
Yohine.
Mena.
Yohine.
Wahine Yesu.
Baneme.
Me papa.
Yo.
Ete.
Me yohine ba.
Bonsama.
Me yohine.
Oh, ete.
Me yohine ba. Me yohine.
Oh, ete.
Me yohine ba. Me yohine ba.
Meja.
Yohine.
Mena.
Heaven's Way champion. I sorry demo and ye free bay na chese kwesi adai also for junior pastor one kind Bible ni ama say there mama part wato ede ama na amafo chim say wo hu asemu we mpenipa mama part ba ye nyina wa maintaining his steez and the composer wo dinle mu wonka obi okọ preach kama Osofo ya kwa abeka mama part ama na react say amafo chim say we dey a new sound alert afa no mo feel say indeed the mama part is back and she's back for good because say the muhunu no sa pepepe and as say what they Emma Ghana for be say at this point they don't think mama part obetimi asesa because they asesa wo mu ane say no wetimi kwa hu ne say preacher na and say reader no oye mistakes ama mama part kwa chere no correct ne say masa ade na wo kan me makan yo etimi nim de wo mu ntimi emehu ne emengu mani so emedada me say that is not what it is. So mama part has been trending because of this particular video which I say oh Agrada will forever remain Agrada, and the fact that Sebe wetimi a correcting a reader no and then our mama for be brainy aji won we share comment ni bia na ebi no ma na is omo cha they are seeing some kind of improvement e ba ni nyame asem ne they say no enema e sheda e koyie pa ze o chema wono e na the queen of onyame ne kingdom no iti on dey say wama amedia grow nti agrada de nam so a wo trende na wo twi mu no eno na yekọ hwe ye na afei ye fa nsem no enko wie dia na abusuan ahwefo be kaye somewhere last year and beto just say immigration officer and the Stephen King amwa abrante obeyira ye ema ye hwehwe no ananimfoni eko viral wo internet ne so se wayera wa hunu no maye hu ekire ne beto dwa se we free atiasefo asase so na nhwehwe mu beto ekire na chese de ba ne se wono ankasa na damfo nimpon and the bright awe ene ya branche ba ko kan wono nso ni din Thomas Ziga ene esusu se wo mo ahye wo mo ho akwakokum Stephen King amwa ede fi atiasefo asase so na ensem no akọ back and forth no mo court no mo ba no mo court no mo ba no mo court no mo ba ena me ne woka say wo masan akwakopie mu ewo court na wo mo kopie mu ewo court no de koba ye no ene se asem no wo masan etu ahyeda and wo matu ahyeda de ko June musumi no mu busumi edi enim ya na wo mo etu ahyeda ndento wo mo etu ahyeda ne se no ye kire mu a wo mo akoye DNA test na za DNA test na efa emoja omko huhu ewo dan na yesusu se yekum Stephen King amwa ewo mu no omko na moja bi ni ade wo mo pese omko ye DNA test hwe se moja no ene ya no mfo mienu bright awe ene Thomas Ziga emoja no pe na afei de asem na se konanimu a ene sa because that particular issue we no ehu enua se be abusuafo mo ahwere mo de se mo abro Stephen mekan se bright awe ene Thomas Ziga no ewo Kaneshi District Court ne enya asem ketwa wo mo abro mo nua papa na bright awe yi de empempi no okopie mu court a ne nsem a ochemu ane se oye innocent awon nsem a yede bono ne ho oni mu hwe na so nhwehwemu so chiremu a the last time the late Stephen King amwa he was in the company of Thomas Ziga and Bright away sanse according to inchemu eba no na the late Stephen King amwa okra na busuan fan say ne yere say omo de ne ka sika bi Bright awe no ese ne yonko brebo pa sebe the in-law ne brother-in-law kra be di that say omo ye namfofo omo pie bomu ni ade enti okaso okogi ni sika ewo na damfo yi ho aba me kwa aba ene owuo enenam a sebe the late Stephen King amwa wansa mebiem a de beto dwa se wayera ehwehwe mu na echi yakunu asa de na arape no ewo ntoma mu ni asa ye den ahye no a wawu yaya intensam ne de sese utimu se nanim anesa na June busuminimu no omo besan akwakopie mu wo court ames the DNA test result no na afa ye be kire ba bi asem no ne bobre no ekeka akwakodro nti ye bekoso na ye de echi na ye de emu update aba now ye kasa de afa this whole court cases who any ade no na ye boawura NPP amanyoko no akache na ye kwa NPP amanyoko na akache a Bono regional chairman Kwame Bafo aka Abronye yenyina yenim se nanu ada wo kasem bi de etia judge a wotena asem a na efa NPP ni communicator bako a sebe ni echema wakwakoye LGBT ni amanyema bi de Mahama ne Sam George Mako for mu na asem no kokko se de ko wieye no na Abronye nso koka se oh judge wey oh bibia chese wo NDC ni judge wey se de wo ye nsem na se ne kasa no ebu judge ne nimtia na ekotebiri Abronye abusu anche yete yesi Abronye yare ama ya mane so de netu kwan obaye no ya sanzwa na yare mande no na no na minority leader yera afenyo marking no sahene no ka say there wo chemu a the injustice a ekoso we Ghana hanum say no we so oba no obeka no expose the judicial system no ene NDC aban no we de ekoso now after marking sensema o de 2 January better screens no so e de amount na say utimu say from all indication no according to Afem Markins case no say do mu di case no enye sa na ewo se wo mu edi no nti wo hwe screens no so a way every the minority leader Honorable Alexander Kwame na Afenyo Markin Parliament of Ghana o say dear say krata we na chese ono enedeba o say case report case the Republic versus Kwame Bafo at Abronye, Circuit Court 9, Accra, Judge Joseph Yenuban Kunsong no ena etna asem no so say background intina say wo my de see ya asem we ekopie mu say the accused person Mr. Kwame Bafo at Abronye Bunu Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party was arraigned before the Circuit Court Accra on the 13th of May 2026 on the following charges into a trema 13th of May na womode Abronye ekopie mu wo Circuit Court wo Accra na enyina so a womode chi no baako eni o say offensive conduct conducive to the breach of peace intine say wadan suban bi adi asebe etia asumdwe wo mayimu na section 207 Clause 1 of the Criminal Code 1960 Act 29 womo cite ye was ansem we mu 2 publication of false news na chese wode nsem a enye no kre ababeto monten so eno nso almost cite section 209 Clause 1 Criminal Code 1960 Act 29 eno nso mu gina so the born sa charge now Uba 2 I say prior to today's sitting the accused was granted police inquiry bail on the 13th of April 2026. He was duly informed to appear before the court on the 13th of May 2026, which he did in compliance with the bail conditions. Omuchema ebra omuche no mani bail that was 13th April and omuche ne say 13th May ebusumi ba kuntemu no one sign bra na odi so pepepe ekopie mo say upon his appearance the prosecution was formally mounted against him to okopie mu oho na chese omo de asquadu na bono na so mani abrepasa asem ne de omo bu ati anankasa. Counsel for the accused renewed an application for bail pending trial, citing that the offenses are misdemeanors, that the accused has a fixed place of abode, is a public figure, and has reliable sureties of sufficient means. Counsel further emphasized that the accused health condition and family responsibility enti womo ebo charge no lawyer for na omu gine mu ede ama abronye nso de betu dwa se on person munya bail ede ma no esan se kwadu omo de ebo no enye kwadu bi esu bia na abronye nso yo bi o ba bi a wote we public figure se be obaga na ha nipa dodo na enim no na eba eniema anase nyina so o megina so ede yi abronya anaso mo de ama ne bewa obi na afen so na pomuden won nsem ene ne busua adeso anso ye den wo honom a omo se omo pese omo hwe ni nyina na omo de ye den wo mo ede ema ne bew na ye nto aso a na chese utimu se na eye omo tai ne chin were doing everything possible to get a bail condition for him. 2-5 now said the prosecution opposed the bail application, arguing that the accused, if released, was likely to commit similar offenses given the nature of the charges. And tonight, so much prosecution no, omo den sem no court no. Ensu chemu a se yeja abronya de wontefo obesa akoye de oyeye na ebiem enti omo mpese yebema abronye eye bail no. Now court ruling, the honorable judge, after considering the submissions, denied the bail condition, the bail application on the grounds that the accused is likely to commit similar offenses if granted bail. The judge accordingly remanded the accused person into prison custody pending the final determination of the case. Into omu chema omu ko back and forth any ade wiye no na judge ni no chemu dia enye bail no wenya mfa ma abronye because oditu mu pa se abronye ye ma ne bail na bone odi ye no obesan so ayeden akodi ne biem into omu ma ne bail into omu remande no kopim se asem no omu bepe na no promasibre. Now subsequent applications by counsel for the accused person. Immediately after the ruling, counsel for the accused prayed the court to remand the accused into BNI custody instead of prison custody. The honorable judge, after some hesitations, agreed with counsel's prayer. The accused was therefore remanded into BNI custody pending the final determination of the case. Into omuchemwa ye ma final verdict no ewie ye no na chese judge no ohwemu no say okay, first ruling no ma ye no sin konkoda prison but say no said the counsel no anasa abronye lawyers ne kan no de na say omo de ne be call BNI for akache instead. Now osha say attached is a copy of the charge sheet inti kwadu omo de kobo no ntroye omo twoye no eno na yera sahena feyo marking si chem say wodi aka ne krata no ho inti sure say dated at Kwame Nkrumah and Associate, number 22 Sapele Loop, Kokomlemle, Accra. This 13th day of May 2026, prepared by the legal team of the accused person, Daniel Mate Ado, Esquire, Kwesi Boche Jr. Esquire, Junior Ansa Okai Esquire, Rose Dede Agomo Esquire, and they copied Mr. Justin Frimpong Kunya, General Secretary, New Patriotic Party, inti the kind of saying charge sheet no, the one swear shasi no, and I issue moon producer into us. So you could see say these are the people that were copied on the charge sheet into sharp. Na chese somewhere bano eni still from Afeomakin's case report number 2. Also following the court proceedings held on Wednesday 13th May 2026, the legal team for this accused person filed a fresh bail application at the High Court complex into omo e the 73 Circuit Court and omo de call High Court after and someone appear on the 13th May no. Now subsequent to the proceedings of 13th May 2026, we applied to the Circuit Court to be furnished with a record of proceedings to aid the hearing of the bail application. However, despite several follow-ups, same has not been made available to us. Into Chema, one more the application, Circuit Court, baby, and asem no one senka proceedings no record no mo fa mo no mo fa nko se be boa omo nsem no mo de akopie mu high court so be sinde omo ensa enkan. So on 13th May 2026 we're informed that the learned judge had not yet signed the record of proceedings. Thereafter, on 15th May 2026, we were again informed that the registrar of the circuit court had closed from office at about 3:30 p.m. without signing the order. Today, 18th May 2026, we have once again been informed that the registrar has still not signed the order. Into Ochema, say record fenisena omo urgent. Record of proceedings no more gen. Say pa be seen the omo sign. First time omo call no omo say judge no on signing. Afe the next time omo call 15th May no omo say registrar no apon. Ene omo san ko omo call ya omo still na enya dia registrar no edinensa ahyesa akrata no ase. It appears there is a deliberate attempt by the court to deny us the access of the record of proceedings of 13th May 2026, notwithstanding our repeated applications and follow-ups. Into omo chema omo do omo say no court ne boapa omo mpese omo de record of proceedings ne be den ebe mom no mo so omo de ato aso akọ file wo mo a case into say there omo mpese Ghana fo nyina hu se de ekoso no eni dated at Nkrumah at Associate number 22 Sapele Loop Kokomlemle Accra this 18th day of May 2026. Enti afema kent nense ma wo de aba betu dwa no eni wo chemu a na se kululu bi ekoso ewo baabi a onu hu ni se entwa yie sa kululu na ekoso no kwan bi asabe omo fa so se lebe ya enkrata ehia omo, which is the record of proceedings a ebetimi abo omo ama omo atimi akọ high court akọ file for omo applications ne ade no omo nsan kan ye nti omo ntimi ntoa so eno omo nso mu ni se omo akọ a sebe omo nsa enka na se de omo nsa nka no na chese bibi ekoso ewo baabi a omo de omo susu se there is something that is very fishy with this whole thing na ekoso nti omo de omo atwe nkrata omo de company for so omo nhwem no omo nhwe de ekoso in the judicial system which is not so good. Na nkrata we beton monten so no there have been so much of reactions from people amafo when they say no abaye de botechi ne no ane de boba MPP for wa abemu sebe na allegedly na amafo kika say wo mo fichire anase wo chin judges for nsa case bia na e in their favor ne ade na say o mako opposition na cases are not really going in their favor no. They said the team free so opposition ya papa things are really intense. Na ye brofo afenyo markings wetimi tebiri atwotwo de amaye just because nia maybe because wa ade ntwe na abronye chi ne de reactions na those you say even the mechanic say the flag bearer at the New Patriotic Party Yera Dr. Mahmoud Bawumiakra abe reacted to it ni ade and afenyo markings so abecheche mu said the niema den ko it say ne de omo problem and say they just need the record of proceedings na umotumi e dia feda umu case no ewo the high court no and as abri do mo de ababetu dwabusia is quite unfortunate but then the AC no enya AC the MPP for omonyere omo ho nya hwe yengira nsem we eso na yenda asaf ahwefo ase semunya abre edihwe ha Pinax TV.